Just when the world thought US and Iran have decided to stay calm and talk, Trump twisted the story and the world went back to panic mode. The strikes are back, Strait of Hormuz is again on the edge. Mediators are rushing to sort things out between the two nations. But why did Trump strike Iran again? The latest crisis began after fresh tensions between United States and Iran threatened to derail the already fragile ceasefire. According to reports, President Donald Trump convened an emergency meeting in Oval Office with Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, senior military commanders, and intelligence officials. The agenda was simple, but the decision wasn't. Should America continue trying diplomacy with Iran or respond militarily to what Washington called repeated violations by Tehran? After hours of discussions, Trump chose the second option. The US military launched precision strikes targeting Iranian military infrastructure, saying that the attacks were aimed at degrading Iran's ability to threaten American forces and commercial shipping in the Gulf. The strikes were presented as limited military operations, not the beginning of a full-scale invasion. But here's where the story gets interesting. Even after authorizing military action, Trump reportedly told his advisors that the objective wasn't regime change or a prolonged war. Instead, the strikes were meant to increase pressure on Iran and force it back to the negotiating table. In public, Trump struck a tough tone, warning that if Iran continued its actions, the United States would respond with even greater force. But at the same time, he left the door open for diplomacy, saying a ceasefire and a broader agreement were still possible if Tehran changed course. Iran, however, saw things very differently. Tehran condemned the US strikes as a violation of previous understandings and responded with military attacks like missile and drone attacks targeting American military facilities in the Gulf. The exchange of attacks has once again raised fears that the conflict could spiral into a much wider regional war, with countries across the Middle East closely watching every single move. And this isn't just about missiles. Every escalation in the Gulf immediately puts global energy markets on the edge because nearly 1/5 of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Any disruption there can push crude oil prices higher, increase shipping costs, and eventually raise fuel prices across the world, including in India. Financial markets have already reacted nervously, with oil prices also climbing as investors fear prolonged instability. But at least for now, the White House appears to be trying to balance military pressure with diplomatic leverage. Whether that strategy succeeds now depends on Iran's next move. If Tehran returns to the negotiating table, the ceasefire could still be revived. But if retaliatory attacks continue, the region could once again find itself on the edge of a much larger conflict, one that would affect not just Middle East but the global oil markets, financial markets, and economies around the world. The next few days may decide whether this remains a limited military confrontation or becomes the next major geopolitical crisis again.